The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted many livelihoods and industries, as we know. Sex workers have also been affected. This as many organizations continue to fight for the decriminalisation of sex work. Coordinator for the Asijiki Coalition for the Decriminalisation of Sex Work, Constance Mathe, joins me now to discuss this further. Constance, good afternoon. I mean, we've spoken to various sectors of the economy and industries and activities in the country. How bad have they been affected? And sex work must have been badly affected as well by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, the sex workers have been affected in many various ways. The first thing I will start about the income, because the income itself, they lost their job during the pandemic, so they are not earning any income because of the lockdown. And then the other thing, the sex workers, they lost their accommodation, they lost their houses, and some of them, they died during the pandemic because they were kicked out by the landlord because they couldn't afford the house rent anymore. Now, and then the other thing that was...
Yeah, continue.
Yes, the most serious thing is that during the outbreak of the pandemic, the sex workers were totally excluded as the employees, the benefit from the government, such as the relief fund, because the work is not recognized in South Africa as work, it's still criminalized. So they couldn't benefit from the UIF, they couldn't benefit from the tax.
Yeah, I mean, it is a criminalized activity, and your organization, still fighting for the decriminalization of sex work. Surely you're not surprised that there's been no help of any sorts for sex work?
Yes, we're not surprised because we're expecting that as an organization, because we know in many things the sex workers are being excluded. Some of them, most of them, they are not recognized as the citizens of the country. Sex work industry is seen as a taboo, something that belongs in hell or somewhere in Satan. They don't believe in human rights, that this is a human rights issue. The human rights issue, the human rights of a human being should be recognized.
So you, as the Asijiki Coalition, that you are campaigning for the decriminalisation of sex work, have you been able to lobby, to carry on with your advocacy? And is there any support you're giving to sex workers who come to you looking for help, or nothing at all? Okay,
because the Asijiki is the coalition, but the sex is one of the program of SWED. So there is some programs in SWED that they've been trying as much as we can to assist, especially the Mothers for Future. They've been helping SWED to provide the liquid food parcels and also to get the funds for their airtime data to manage their life and sustain their life. And also with the support of the other organizations as well. And there is also the Becky Buddy. They created the Becky Buddy online for donations. So it has been also be helpful to the sex workers. And the other thing is that some institutes, yes, some institutes, let me not deny that there is an institute such as in Joburg and some other government sector. There is different. DSD have tried in Joburg, I don't want to lie, which we really appreciate on that. So there is some other institute that they do support, and with our own support that we had, we work with the funding. It becomes so difficult to channel the funding that was meant for something, and then we change it for the for the relief to assist on the pandemic.
Yeah, so you, under the SWED umbrella, you are getting, as a coalition, as Asijiki, under the SWED umbrella, you are getting some support, including from some government departments like social development. But what would your appeal be? I mean, we are in the third wave now of the coronavirus infection. In Gauteng, things are really bad, as you know, and there's been all kinds of restrictions. If you had to have an appeal now for assistance, what would it be? What would you appeal for?
I will keep on saying sex workers should be decriminalized in South Africa. I will keep on repeating that. because it is recognized as employee. Each and everyone in South Africa, we are struggling. The country is huge and unemployment rate is very high. So if people, they have something to do, why can't we allow them to do what they do and protect them? The laws shall protect them. This is what we appeal. Let the law protect them, not criminalize the system. It doesn't help anything. Even right now, I'm telling you, people, they end up working in the dangerous places because it's criminalized, afraid of the police, afraid of the laws. So why can't we just decriminalize the system and let them recognize as employment and let them have the safer spaces to work and recognize as work like any other employee, and let them benefit from the labor laws like any other employee.
Okay, thank you very much, Constance Mathe. Your appeal is very clear. She's, of course, coordinator for Asijiki Coalition for the Decriminalisation of Sex Work. I mean, our country can learn from other places, the likes of Holland and Amsterdam and elsewhere, where they have decriminalised sex work, and it has helped the health authorities manage all kinds of challenges, including the spread of HIV/AIDS, as we've seen in other reports. Hopefully, in this country, one day, who knows? That's Constance Mathe there making that appeal under the current pandemic conditions that everybody is facing.